few weeks back, our Steve Hartman took a stand against celebrity-driven news by doing a story about an average American whom he picked entirely at random. So well did that story turn out that Steve was encouraged to try it again.
Reporters are always falling over themselves to cover the same oversaturated news stories.
Seconds, we'll get a picture and then leave you alone.
Surely there must be someone else in America with an interesting story to tell, that they want to tell.
I want some goddamn privacy. Get back.
Hard to find?
Away from the car.
I don't think so. In fact, I think I can pinpoint exactly where I need to go to find that story. Right? There. Taos, New Mexico. The process is highly scientific. Okay. Alfred Mascarella?
The point is to pick somebody completely at random.
Is this Alfred?
And then do a story on that person, no matter who they are or what they have to say.
Wouldn't be 8 minutes of fame. You'd be lucky if you got 4.
When we come back, you'll meet the man on the motorcycle. And when he takes off that helmet, you will see that Alfred is not at all what you'd expect.
Story continues now with Steve Hartman in Taos, New Mexico.
It's sort of like a journalism experiment.
Here's sort of what happened, Alfred. We threw a dart at a map, and it hit in Taos, New Mexico. We came here, I opened the phone book, okay. I pointed at a name, and it was yours. Alfred Mascarella, and we want to tell your story to a national audience. Does that sound like something you might want to do, Alfred?
Yeah, I could go for it.
This is for a show called Public Eye with Bryant Gumbel. Have you ever watched that?
No.
Okay, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you later. No, just kidding.
That was Alfred. Turns out he's a ski instructor who wears an earring and rides a top-of-the-line motorcycle that goes 0 to 60 in a breath. He's the envy of every 20-something in town. At the age of 60-something.
Now, you don't have to drive that motorcycle at 140 miles an hour. You can drive it at 70 miles an hour and it'll be fine.
Do you drive it at 140 miles an hour?
Alfred Mascarella lives in a paradise at the top of a mountain outside Taos. He retired here from New York.
It's here, you know, it's just open.
It would be the perfect place to relax. If only he would.
Oh, come on.
He drives himself hard. Always has.
Oh,
For more than 20 years, Dr. Mascarella was one of the most skilled cardiovascular surgeons in New York, a regular Marcus Welby, minus the bedside manner.
Well, my staff gave me a little dinosaur when I left. It says, mean, rotten, nasty, but fun. So that was pretty much how they looked at me.
He is fun.
Linda Mascarella is Al's wife.
But obviously, I don't like the way he treated me.
His ex-wife.
And, you know, I just didn't want to live with that.
They divorced after 2 kids and 33 years of marriage.
He's not at ease with his feelings, and I don't think he's very much in touch with them.
You got any bowling over here?
Today, Al lives with Joanne Noli, his girlfriend of 20 years. And if you do the math, you'll see that, yes, there was some overlap. Joanne was a nurse at the hospital. Al always had a way with nurses.
He told me one time, you know, there's nothing worse than a stupid nurse.
Not unlike the way he had with his wife.
They never named me Doctor of the Year, that's for sure.
He would go in and see a patient, do what he had to do with dressing, sometimes not even say a word to the patient, and walk out of the room.
When I threw that dart and trusted fate, this wasn't exactly the kind of story I was hoping for. But the truth is that Al Mascarella has been hiding his real story. And he certainly had every intention of hiding it from me, too. Until we started talking about this one patient.
Oh, God. Jesus.
A very old man with a wife of 65 years and a ruptured aneurysm.
Very quickly got in there and controlled this thing right away, and, you know, his blood pressure came up and everything, and just, you know, it was a moment of triumph because it looked real good. And then we had a problem because everything started bleeding, and everything was oozing blood. We couldn't stop it. I worked on him for about 3 hours, and he eventually bled to death because everything was bleeding. Everything it touched bled. It was bleeding. You know, sat down and talked to the wife. And she put her hand on my arm and she said, "Don't feel badly, doctor. I know you did your best, and it just broke me up to have so much strength." She said something like they'd been married for 65 years, and we had such confidence in you, and, you know, I was wiped. I didn't expect this to happen.
To those people who thought you were so arrogant,
Yeah.
I guess they didn't see the side, did they?
Well, I would try not to show it to him.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want a weepy surgeon, you know what I mean?
Those close to him have seen the softening.
And the other one is
Even his ex-wife Linda, who visits about twice a month. Everyone says he talks a lot more now. Heck, he even talks to bugs.
He talks to them?
Come on, little bee, let's go outside where you belong.
Are we talking about the same guy?
That's what I mean. Scary.
It's so easy to think you know somebody, or worse yet, judge them. And when you do, you miss out on so much depth. That's what I learned up here, while all those other reporters were falling over themselves down there.
Leaving Linda Tripp to continue her testimony for a 6th day before the grand jury.